Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at Jamer Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, please drop your comments and questions for my guest into the comment box, and you will see me check from time to time. Today, you are invited to join the conversation when I chat with longtime friend, chef, restaurateur, Gino Troia. The Troia family immigrated from Naples, Italy in 1962. They introduced to a city stuck in Italian-American red sauce to the true flavors of southern Italy, the Campania region. There is much more to Naples than pizza. Today, it is the story of the Troia family, and their patriarch, Gino Troia. Let's bring in Gino.
Hello.
Hi, Gino. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me on this program.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you here. We're friends from way back. I
Yes.
wouldn't say how far back. So I know you're at the restaurant now. What's on your plate to do today other than the show?
Today, probably I will check some deliveries coming in from a wine company, um, take inventory, talk to the chefs in the kitchen, and decide what tonight's specials are going to be.
Oh, you haven't decided.
Actually, we chose them last night, but today we are going to test them and see, and see what, if the customers will like them. I hope so. Anyway, today one of our special is cassoulet, which my brother and I introduced like 30 years ago to Baltimore. So we make cassoulet with cannellini beans instead of the French flageolet, and we use the sausage, wild boar sausage, prosciutto, and duck breast. So that's one of our specialties.
You sent me a picture last night of a typical dish from Naples, and it was more the poverty type dish. It was potatoes and pasta.
Yes.
And is that going to be one of the specials tonight, or was that
No,
last night's special?
we will not have that in the restaurant. It is too foreign to to most people, and I really don't want to take that chance. That there has always been a dish that was made at home, and now lately, in the past 3 or 4 years, someone decided to feature this dish in their restaurant. In fact, there are quite few restaurants in Naples now that feature that dish, and the tourists go crazy, because it's almost like a copy of mac and cheese. So it is made with onions, celery, um, of course, potatoes, uh, pancetta, and then you just cook the pasta with it. Now the pasta is actually the protagonist of this dish, because during and after the war, in the pasta shops, when people went to the pasta shop to purchase their daily meal, the broken pasta that was left on the counter was swept aside, and at night, when the people that had no money at that time, they would go to the shop and buy this broken pasta. So today they're actually featuring this pasta in 1 pound, in 450 gram containers, because people are
Pasta
now
mista.
exactly
Pasta.
pasta mista. You've seen that, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's where it comes from. So, and it's a delicious dish, and you have to eat it as soon as it comes off the stove. You know, you cannot wait, you can't wait for it. You know.
Well, I think another dish, the other home dish, is sort of a cauliflower and pasta as
Okay.
well.
Yes, that is one of my favorite also.
You brought up your brother Ernesto, may he rest in peace.
Thank you.
But your family has a history of chefs. Your father had a restaurant, your aunt had a restaurant. Um, Tell us more. Your father's restaurant was more about game, wasn't it?
That is correct. Yes, it was in a little town in Calabria.
Oh, okay.
It took over this restaurant. I don't know who it belonged to, but he bought it from someone, and the restaurant was called Ristorante Fiasco. Fiasco, you know, in English means a failure, but in Italian, fiasco is actually the straw bottle that they Chianti was it was a
In
Chianti, you know, and they used the straw. Uh, they dressed it with straw so that it wouldn't break during shipment, because that was before boxes were invented. So there was a big billboard outside of the restaurant with a chef's picture and a fiasco. So and yeah, I loved it there. I was seven years old when we moved there, and it was nice. It was a nice time in my
Hey
life.
Stan, how's it going?
So, Griffin, okay. We just had a little blurb there. You are very much the food historian uh, in the family, and there's so many stories to tell. So, your father had the restaurant, your aunt had a restaurant, but it was more European. It was the Amalfi Coast around there, and you worked there?
My aunt had two restaurants. One was in Stuttgart, Germany,
Oh,
and that was called Ristorante Vesuvio, which is the name of the volcano we have in Naples. And then she had a restaurant in Sorrento. Actually, it was a hotel and restaurant, and that was called Hotels and Restaurant Stuttgart. So that she would get, yes, she would get the German tourist to come. And you know, in the summer, when I had no school, my parents would send me there to help out, and also to go to the beach, because you know it was near a beach. And I learned many things from my aunt. The first thing she taught me was to make mayonnaise. So that was the first thing I made. And then we had this salad called insalata russa, Russian salad. I don't know if you ever seen that, but
well, it's cubed, if I'm correct. The Russian salad is cubed potatoes, peas,
beans, yes,
um,
that's
and
a
carrots.
yes,
Carrots. Okay. Um, was it beets? Chopped beets? Square
yes,
beets?
that's correct.
Yes, I get another gold star.
Yeah, so
Uh,
that's
well, I think that has to do. We have a lot of Russian markets here in Baltimore. Um, you left Naples. Your family immigrated to Baltimore because I think there was a cousin or a sister or an aunt who lived in Baltimore. But you were in your teens, maybe 16 or 17.
yeah.
Were you were you apprehensive about moving to the United States, learning a new language, or maybe you had English in high school or school, but um, was it, were you sad to leave? What were your feelings? That's all.
I was not sad leaving Naples, because we didn't really think that we were going to stay here. this was so. We just thought it was, we were coming here for an adventure. My mom was here. She landed a contract in a clothing factory. My mom was a very fine seamstress in Naples. She was also working for the San Carlo Theater, which was the opera house in Naples, still is. Actually, it's one of the oldest theaters in Europe. And so she got this contract. And so a few months later, she said, you guys can come over and see what happens. It was a happy time. It was our first flight, first time on a plane. My brother and I were dressed up in a suit with the shirt and tie. Yeah, it was fun, also to meet our relatives here. So suddenly, my mom said, this job is not really what I was looking for. She said, this is like a factory, like a sweatshop, and there are many immigrants here, and I'm in charge of these people. So, but at that time, we had already decided that maybe we should stay here for a while and go back. But that never happened. So, this became our home. We met people, we got married, we had children, the family grew. And so we even forgot about going back to Naples. It was just too late for us. We had nothing else left in Naples. We didn't have a house anymore, sold businesses. And so, but anyway, we have no regrets. So.
I think, when a family, you're already entrenched and have friends and school and things like that, and to go. I'm glad to hear that you and Ernesto thought it was an adventure. And so Ernesto became a chef. Had he been working in restaurants? I mean, was he older than you or younger than you?
He was younger than me.
All right.
He was 17 months younger.
Okay. So he was a chef. He worked for Villaggis and some of the Little Italy restaurants. Had he studied anywhere or?
Yeah, he went to the culinary school here in Baltimore.
He went to BIC.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it was called at the time. And
Baltimore International Culinary College, I think.
Yeah, he was so good actually that he became one of the instructors there.
Well, instinctive, but that was not a path you wanted. And
no, not really.
No. And so I don't know that, I mean, you became a hairdresser at a certain point, but I don't think that's what you wanted to be either. But it was a path. Am I right, wrong, off the mark?
Yeah, I had dreams of becoming a fashion designer, watching my mom designing clothing, and she would always ask me to help her because I was very good in drawing, so my mom always asked me to help her with the patterns, and she would also have me cut the fabric for her. I remember these days, and that eventually I said, oh, maybe I should cut hair. And
it is artistic.
Yes.
And that is your flair. And you met Carol,
Yes.
And at some point, you and your brother opened up where the salon used to be in Towson on Allegheny Avenue.
Same street.
What?
In the same street, yes.
Yeah.
On Allegheny Avenue, yes.
Yes. So you both tried your hands at doing a market, a mercato, with Italian foods,
Yes.
meats, porchetta,
Yes.
cheese, wine, and maybe had a couple of tables,
Yes.
if memory serves me. And at some point, your mother came in, who was a wonderful cook. And amongst the three of you, you would create dishes that people could carry out, or if they
Correct.
wanted to, they could sit down. And it became so popular, you added more tables.
Yeah.
And more space, and it became Cafe Troia.
It became, yes. Yeah. Because when we opened, it was called Troya's International Cafe and Market. And if the logo was designed by this young lady, Jane, and she had 4 flags in the logo: the American flag, Spanish, French, and Italian. I still have a T-shirt from then. And yeah, because my brother said, we can't. He said, what kind of Italian food do we gonna feature? He said, let's just have European food here. And that's what we did. We sold coffee, we sold baguettes, we sold uh, all kinds of cheeses, and they were not necessarily all Italian. In fact, at that time, you couldn't even import mortadella on prosciutto from Italy. There was a ban on those meats, on pork meats at that time. So, but anyway, so then, we just became an international restaurant. And suddenly, we said, look, why don't we introduce some real food? And we were the first restaurant in Baltimore to feature ossobuco, risotto, polenta, and we learned a lot from our customers, what they wanted to eat and what they didn't want to eat. Like, for example, when we first um, featured seafood, like a fish, and we served it the way we served it at home, with the head and the spine and the tail, and people would say, "Oh, please send it back, and can you clean it for me?" And so we learned from that, and but we had a good time. Meanwhile, and we grew bigger and bigger and bigger. From 5 tables, we sat like 20 people. Suddenly, we were sitting. 4 years later, there were 150 seats in the restaurant. So
Yeah.
it
And
was
it was
it's
enlightening for Baltimore because Baltimore, those that are listening, have a little Italy, but it was more the Italian American. It was red sauce. There wasn't anything really, you had a salad, but it was more oriented with an American slant with the red sauces. And to go into Troya's and get ossobuco with risotto Milanese, to go in and get fruta di mare, to get these dishes that were authentic, fresh, clean, extra virgin olive oil or butter. There wasn't any processed food in what was prepared.
correct.
And I think, you know, you did so much to enlighten. And as time progressed, your daughter Lisa and your ex-wife Carolyn ran Cafe Troia, and you moved on into Baltimore at the museum
Yes.
and tried different iterations and have now found your home down in Hampden. For those listening, Hampden is like the hot neighborhood. It's called 36th Street. And all you have to say in Baltimore, it's on the avenue. And that's where his restaurant right now is Grano Pasta Bar. Now you had Big Grano and then you went to Grano Pasta Bar. And initially it was sort of more a carry out for pasta. Maybe you had 4 stools, 5 stools you could go in. And it's now evolved to a beautiful market. I'll let you tell people about it. The menu, there's outdoor dining with heaters, and it's expanded to the basement, and there's a bar there. And there's nothing like sitting down and having a glass of wine if Gino's there and sitting at the bar and chatting with him. And my favorite dish is linguine with clams, and he does it a little bit different. I think it was highlighted on what's the guy with the spiked hair?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we're both old.
Wait a minute. It was
The Food Network, Foods
Fieri.
and Fun.
Guy Fieri. Yes.
Guy Fieri, yeah. So, and I think, and it was such a tiny space, and he was in there with you. It was, you can find that on the Food Network and just punch in Gino Troia, and you can watch that episode. There's so much that you've done. We talked about Naples, and when your family left, even though it was, I think, 1962, there was still such lingering problems from the war.
Of course.
And I think part of it, Naples, you sort of advise Naples is celebrating a birthday. So let me throw it to you to talk to people about Naples and why maybe they should go to Naples when they're going to Italy.
Why not? Last year, Naples had 20 million visitors. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Most of them from the United States. So, but yeah, Naples, the word Naples, which is Napoli in Italian, comes from the Greek Neapolis, which means new city. And it was discovered by Greeks. In fact, from Naples to Sicily, that area was called Magna Graecia. Magna Graecia means large or big Greece. And so that was before the Roman Empire. The legend, of course, it is always a legend, Ulysses, and that is called the Parthenope city, which the legend says that it was discovered by a siren, which is a siren,
like a mermaid.
A mermaid, yes, thank you. And so she is buried in the depth of the Bay of Naples. But Naples is, that was the capital of the Regno delle Due Sicilie, which means the reign of the two Sicilies. And the French and the Spanish ruled that city in the 16th century and 17th century. And that was one of the wealthiest capitals of Europe. In fact, the San Carlo Theater, where my mom worked, I used to go with her to deliver the tutus to the ballet school. So, but
your mom, Elena, really got involved with the food in the restaurant and worked in the kitchen.
yeah,
And if memory serves me, didn't she do a cookbook?
she did a cookbook. Yes, she did a cookbook with her next door neighbor, who was Greek. So they decided to do a book that featured Greek and Italian recipes and their similarities. Some dishes had a Greek name, and the same dish actually with the Neapolitan version. So that's how old is our cuisine, if we want to call it that.
Yes, well, is there, I assume you probably have a copy of it left.
I had my last copy. I gave it to my daughter Daniela before she moved to Idaho, but I do have a manuscript of it. It's out of print at this moment because I don't know why, but it's out of print.
I would love to come see it one day.
Okay, I will have
Okay.
it. Sure.
We'll do that because I am food curious and always have been from the days that I would hang out on Saturday afternoons at the restaurant. I go from there to Hung's, which was Vietnamese. That's what I did. I come in and just hang with the chefs. You did a cooking class when I ran cooking classes in the restaurants, in the restaurant kitchen. And a lot of the Italian chefs that are in other restaurants nowadays filtered through your kitchen, filtered through Ricardo's kitchen at Soda Sopra. And I remember those were fun days. I was thinking back, I remember I was growing arugula, and I'm not a farmer, and I brought you bags and bags of this arugula, and then I realized it's arugula that bolted, and you probably never used it, but you were kind enough. I thought I was bringing you something wonderful. Let's talk about your daughter, Daniela, who very early on was into juicing and had a raw bar. This goes back, what, about 15 years? Didn't your mom work with her and help her out too?
Some, yes. She did help her. She helped all of us. So, but yeah, Daniela was a pioneer in juicing in Baltimore, you know, and she still is at home. You know, she just had a baby in October. Yeah, many things have changed in the past 10 years. You know, I've been married again to a wonderful woman, and she runs the mercado for us. And, she's a tremendous help. Her name is Julie. Actually, we've been married this year 11 years.
Has it been 11? And she's Hispanic
She's
heritage.
she's Colombian. Yes.
So that's why, folks, you can find empanadas.
That's correct.
As well as maybe a porchetta sandwich. And I think what's important that the legacy of what you believe in quality food continues on, that even at Grana's Pasta Bar, there's no deep fryer. It's
There is
either
no
butter
fry. No, we
or
only use butter, olive oil.
extra virgin olive oil.
Correct.
Pure. If you're in the Baltimore area, Definitely. And the website is granapastabar.com. And all that information is going to be coming up in the comment section. And their Instagram is Grana Pasta Bars. We have a plural in that, Grana Pasta Bars. For Instagram in Baltimore, they're located on the avenue, 1031 36th Street. All that can be found. Ages ago, when I sort of started this out, I tripped over a fellow called Matteo Tranconi. And he was passionate about Naples and the pizza. And for 5 years, he would go back and forth living in a van, and he made a movie called Aranjasi, Making Something from Nothing, or Pizza and the Art of Living, Aranjasi. And it's something that if people want to learn a little bit more about Naples, they can find the movie. I don't have the link, but if you can't find it, reach out to me. You can find me at Dara Cooks or 3J More Living. So we come to my questions at the end of the show. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, Gino, what would it be?
I would say don't smoke cigarettes. Yeah, I found myself smoking some cigarettes, and I just regret that day that I started.
Okay. How long has it been since you quit? I'm assuming you've quit.
Probably 20 years.
Good.
Or
Good
more.
on you, as they say here in the States. If you could wake up with a new talent in the morning, what would the new talent be?
I would love to work on a farm. Just be a farmer. Yeah.
Okay, just planting or animals? What fascinates you about a farm?
Planting, yes. And maybe have some chickens.
Okay. What two things are a must in your refrigerator?
Um, water, mineral water, mostly sparkling, in a glass bottle. Eggs from the farm where we buy eggs in Pennsylvania, which are from free-range chicken. Eggs, what else? Oranges and tangerines and fruit in general.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What was your ultimate culinary fail?
Well, it was as recent as last November. I decided to cook a Thanksgiving dinner for my Italian family in Italy. So I spoke to my cousin and my sister, because my sister also lives in Rome. I said, I'm coming to cook the Thanksgiving dinner for the rest of the family. So how many people can you seat? And she said, well, let's see who's coming. I'm going to invite everybody, and I'll let you know the count. But anyway, so it turned out to be 15 people, 15 members of the family. So I said to my cousin, you have to help me find the turkey, fresh. I don't want it frozen. And then beside the turkey and the what do you call that? The bread, but when you
Stuffing.
stuffing, yes, stuffing and the cranberry. I said I also want to make an a Baltimore dish. I'm going to make pasta with crab. So And so I was able to find a nice turkey, and then we went to this place where they're supposed to have crabs, and they were not blue crabs. They were actually already clean, and they were on ice, dead. So I said, my gosh, this is not going to work. So I went to the supermarket, and I was able to find some crab meat in cans. And anyway, that dish didn't turn out well. But worse than that was that the turkey didn't fit in my sister's oven. So I had to cut it in half. So I really didn't have a nice presentation of this wonderful American looking turkey on the table. like we see in the movies and pictures and magazines. So
Right.
but anyway, I just was not happy with the way that dinner turned out. So that was a failure for me. But
I'm sure the turkey tasted wonderful.
it did, and they were very polite when they tasted the pasta with the fake crab meat.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Was it fake or pasteurized?
No,
Wasn't it?
it was real. It was real, but I'm not sure. They're not expert. They're trying to destroy. Now they are invaded by blue crab, and they're trying to destroy it instead of learning how to cook it. So that was my big fail.
Okay, so that was your culinary fail.
Yes.
What's the best bite you've had all week?
Well, I think last night when I made pasta e patate. Yes, and I shared it with my staff.
Was pasta what?
Pasta e patate. Pasta and
Oh,
potato.
what you sent me, the pasta and potato.
So
Wonderful.
I will send you the recipe.
Sounds like a plan. I remember, just interject, folks, years ago when I used to organize these cooking classes in restaurant kitchens, was before the Food Network. And what I would do, because I had huevos you couldn't believe, is I'd invite the chefs and their wives over for dinner. Now, when Gino came over with Carolyn, I served them Chinese food, but sure as hell wasn't going to serve them Italian food. And vice versa. I had Hung on near Hung, and I served them Italian food, and they were Vietnamese, so I just would change it up. All right, my last question. This is really the hardest. What didn't I ask you, Gino, that I probably should have?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Why don't you come up with a question?
Another question. Well, I'll just reemphasize that if you're in Baltimore,
Yes.
go to the very popular neighborhood called Hampden or the Avenue. Stop by Grano Pasta Bar or Pasta Bar, and you can find it granopastabar.com. You can follow them on Facebook. You can follow them on Instagram, which is Grana Pasta Bars. That's plural. Go to the market. If you can't stay, you can pick up. They have curbside service, or go sit in the basement with the tables in the restaurant. And if Gino's there, cozy up to the bar, have, a drink, talk with Gino, and get the food. You will not regret it whatsoever. And the linguine and clams, perfect, which is my favorite Italian dish. So, Gino, I want to thank you. All the best, good health. And I'm sure I'm going to be seeing you quite soon. So thank you for joining us. And I have a couple of notes to get by. And thank you again.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone. Next week's guest will be the founder of eatyourbook.com, Jane Kelly. If you are into cookbooks, that is the website to visit. Now, years and years and years and years ago, I'm a cookbook junkie. I would get cookbooks from Jessica's Biscuits. And anybody who's into cookbooks, you want to find a recipe, but where is it? Eatyourbooks.com started off in a way to access and categorize the books that you have. You could find things by punching it in and listing the cookbooks you have, and it's grown quite a bit. And in the meantime, you can check it out. It's called eatyourbook.com, and the founder, Jane Kelly, will be our guest next week. You can find me on Instagram at Dara Cooks, on Facebook under the Food Enthusiast. All shows are immediately archived in video form on Jamore Living's Facebook page and jamoreliving.com. You can also find the videos of this show on jamoreliving.com. On the menu, it says food. Drop down to the Food Enthusiast. All 275 shows are there that you can go back and watch. We truly appreciate it again when you share a show with friends and family. Feel free to go back into our archives and enjoy past shows. As I always end and truly mean, may your plates always, always remain full. Hope to see you next Thursday.